just like a popcorn seed. I can only take so much heat before I pop. Blow my top, too late to stop. I've already said something that I should not. Situations getting the best of me, making me question my Christianity. People on the job disrespecting me. I know it's not the way I'm supposed to be. I have to hold my tongue tight. I gotta remember that the customer is always right. You know as well as I know, they be tripping. They make a brother wanna go off. I feel like quitting. It's Friday night, yeah. Something to make me feel right, yeah. Happy hour, no. Happy hour is for cowards. I need the power, oh yeah. The Holy Ghost power, ooh, this very hour, yeah. Get in my car and ride. I got to cruise. Sometimes I have to cruise just to get some time with you. I don't wanna go home all mad. Oh no, no, no. Sometimes I have to get away so you can wipe my tears away. Oh,
what's good? What's going on?
Just like the wind, I can't see you, but I can feel you.
I decided to do something different tonight, today, whatever you want to call it, for real, because we're always real serious about everything. But one thing that I try to encourage the people to do after church more than anything and in life is to make sure that you include God in everything. When I say include him in everything, you get the most joy out of life when you include him in everything. And so this episode here, I have to deal with dating, if not dating, relationships from any aspect that I think I can possibly be helpful in. And I know I'm out the dating game. I've been out the dating game, dating somebody new for over almost 25 years. I've been dating my wife for 25 years, and it just gets gooder and gooder. But I understand that a lot has changed over the years in the dating scene, but that doesn't negate the fact that I do have a lot of beautiful young middle-aged, older single people in under my leadership that want to be married, that want to be involved in relationships and stuff like that, and they are worthy of it. You know what I mean? They're worthy of it. And so I get asked a lot of questions all the time about what I think about certain things. And I even had someone to reach out to me today and said, hey, the next time you come to the city to preach, y'all need to bring my husband with you. Oh, it was hilarious. And that's actually what sparked this conversation, because she and I began to talk about different things, and I was like, you know what, I need to go ahead and go public with this podcast, and this is a conversation that I have often with a lot of people. So this one's going to be a little different. It's not going to be the same. This is just, you're getting a piece of me that most people that know me only see. If you know, I am a lover of music. I am pretty much, if you want to call it, I'm a hopeless romantic for real. I love songs. I love songs. Remember back in the day when we could just get a cassette tape. Oh, I ain't even spoke to y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? When we could just get what we call a cassette tape, and then it went up to CDs, and we could just read the lyrics off the back of a CD or back of a tape, and those lyrics would say exactly what we wanted them to say. I know y'all remember that. But not only that, there were times when you would actually, I don't know if nobody else did it, but I did. You could actually write down the lyrics to a song and put it in your little note, in your letter, and it seemed like you had bars, seemed like you had skills, But there was something about the way we grew up. It was the way we went after what we wanted, we would send our homeboy over to holler at a girl for us if we thought she was cute, so forth and so on. So getting a little letter, all of that stuff was exciting. The chivalry was there. The mystique, the mysteriousness of the woman, of the young lady, it was there. It was enough to drive the young man to want to chase her. And what a lot of people really want, to be honest with you, is they want that type of love, but the environment has changed so much to where we're not willing to give or to receive what it takes in order to get there. And that's what I'm noticing a lot is we see a lot, and we want a lot, but then what we actually want is something so valuable that it takes us coming out of our shell. It takes us thinking outside of the box. It takes us being patient, and that right there is where we lose in some of the areas of the battles. And unfortunately, I see it more with my young ladies than I do the men, because I really don't have a much of a grip on exactly what the men are thinking in this area in these days. And one only thing I can say, it is the lack of male leadership. It's the lack of seeing fathers do things at home. It's the lack of having big brothers to show little brothers how to respect and how to love and how to nurture a woman. It's the lack of mentorship in this area that's actually probably hurting our young men when it comes to this matter, because I mentor a group of young men, and I got to get back together with them. And now most of them are married, but they are young men between the ages of 18 and 35. It's a group that I call Blazers, and I may be expanding that group once I can be a little bit more active with them. Because I look at these young men nowadays, and I'm like, these are our, well, not these particular ones, but some of the ones that just graduated high school. I'm thinking these are our daughters' husbands, and somebody has to show them, because the world is chirping loud. They get visuals every single day over how to treat somebody, how not to treat somebody, and that may be the wrong thing. So we, as the church, as the men of God, we have a responsibility to people outside the pulpit on a Sunday. We have a responsibility to teach young men about romance, to teach young men about their value when it comes to the sexual nature, because a lot of young men, they don't view what they have as anything special, when in actuality, it's the seed that young man carries. That's the thing that's going to change the game. And the enemy knows that, but do we know that? But we have to start teaching in this area, but not just teaching in this area, being examples in this area and being good listeners in this area. And I can't do it all. I know I can't do it all, but I'm doing my part. I'm trying to do my part into sowing into, excuse me, into sowing into this generation that's coming up now, trying to be an example of where we're trying to go, because there are some godly young ladies that are looking for that old school type love, but then they don't have these old school type men to chase after them. And I know some people, a man shouldn't be chasing a woman. That, you know what? Do what you do. Do what you do. The old way, it works some kind of way. Now here it is. If he's gonna chase you, and you don't act like you don't want to get caught. I mean, if you know you got his attention and whatnot, you can't just keep running from him, because after a while, these fellas nowadays, they stamina ain't up like that. They kind of like, okay, if you don't want me, then that's just too bad. I'm not gonna keep coming after you. So it's a different day, it's a different game, it's a different world that we live in. And so I'm gonna do something too. I'm gonna possibly, no, not possibly. I'm gonna play you probably one of my hopeless romantic R&B songs that I've written over the last few months. I've gotten back into just writing certain things, bringing up my old material, having it touched up, redone, so forth and so on. Technology is amazing nowadays when you use it the right way. So I'm thankful to just do this at home and I can just look at my wife and just start writing material. Right. And so a lot of the material that I've written, matter of fact, 90% of the material I've written over the last 5 or 6 months has just been strictly me pouring out what I feel in the moment, when it comes to our relationship. But you'll hear one or two of those songs probably later on. Told you this is going to be a different type of a thing. I want you to do me a favor. If you're watching this, you can share it if you want to. But I want you to get in. If you can get in the comments, that's fine. get in the comments and put some information out there. When I ask a certain question, let's have some dialogue, because we may continue on the conversation at some other time. But just think about some things. I want you to consider this. When it comes to being in a relationship or wanting to get into a relationship, if you feel as though you are that prize, and I'm quite sure there are a lot of people that feel like they are the prize. They feel highly important about themselves, and there's nothing wrong with having confidence in yourself. I mean, you need to have confidence in yourself in that area if you don't have confidence in anybody else. But you also have to be honest with yourself as well, right? You have to be honest with yourself as well. It's many times, and I can just go back to the conversation that I had earlier. I asked the young lady this. I said, real talk. You want to be married, and you're saving yourself for marriage, you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and the whole nine. That is a beautiful thing. But let me ask you a question. Are you only interested in marrying someone you know goes to church, or someone that has to be your race, someone that has to be in the city that you're in, someone that has to be, a certain height, a certain weight, a certain everything? And I asked that question for a reason, because many have a lot of faith, and there's nothing wrong with having faith, but faith without works is dead. Many have the faith to believe that God is just going to send Mr. and Mrs. Right to their doorstep without any effort from themselves. And that right there, my friend, that ain't gonna work. If it ever happens, then God's hand must be on it. But let me help you here. God presents, my God, He presents something pretty much all the time. But here it is. A lot of the times we're not physically attracted to His presentation, because let me help you. God does not pick your mate for you. No, you didn't want to hear that. God presents. You still have to make a choice on whether you're going to go with what He's presenting to you. Right? You still have to make a choice, because the reason why I say that is, why would God give me a choice in salvation and then make me marry this person? Why is it a choice for me to be saved or not? But when it comes to the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, I made this person just for you here. Nobody else. This is yours. He says that about Christ. But even in that situation, we have a choice. So you still have some responsibility. I am a firm believer that every situation can work if both people that are involved, male and female, if both are involved, are on one accord, and if they're both seeking God for guidance. Some areas it may be more difficult. It may cost more of a sacrifice, but here it is. Most of the time people don't work out is because one, if not both of them, quit trying, or their prayers are going in two different directions. So it has to take some effort upon ourselves, meaning that I have to get out and do something, because number one, not very many people, especially men, are just in church all day, every day. And then the people that you work with may not be ideal people to date, maybe, or maybe not. But if you don't get out of the city, if you don't possibly sometimes with your girls or with your boys get out of the country, if you don't do anything outside of the normal things that you typically do, what are your chances of meeting someone that may fit the bill? Now, here it is. Everything that you might have on in your mind or on your list, if we still have those, some of the things that we want, look for, or desire are things that are in people that we don't necessarily like or that we don't find attractive. Majority of those things are probably in a friend. But there are times when some of the things that we want, we have to ask, is this a need? Is this a want, or is this a need? Because if it's something that I actually want, sometimes I may want something that I'm not ready for. And we haven't had these situations to bring these things out. Because some of the stuff I realize in marriage, some things don't come out until you're actually faced with a situation that will produce it. Right? You may want a man that is nurturing and caring and that will that's affectionate, but then in the beginning he may not necessarily show those things, but then later on in life he starts maturing and things start happening, and then all of a sudden those things start rising up in him. Because let me help you here, the very thing, if you've ever been in any relationship, right, if you've ever been in any relationship and it seems as though the person that you were with did not fulfill everything that you always wanted. They started off a certain way, but then some kind of way it fell off, and you see it. But then all of a sudden later on, 2 or 4 or 5 years later or whatever down the road, they're with somebody else, and it seems like they are now the person that you always wanted. Realize that that's the same person, and you were onto something. It was in them the whole time. But what did you focus on that either smothered it or made them afraid to release it? This is where we have to be honest with ourselves about who we are and what we bring to the table and what we bring to the relationships altogether, right? So I think it's important to be honest in those areas. It's very important to look in the mirror and not necessarily to see if something's wrong with you. No, baby, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just being yourself, but all of us need tweaking. All of us need tweaking here and there. All of us got some things that we need to work on just for ourselves. Right? Well, there are things we have to work on beside the fact that we may want to be in a relationship, but there are things that I need to work on just for me. That's going to help me develop as a person. But then that very thing that's helping me develop as a person that I'm working on could very well attract someone. I'm hoping I'm making sense to someone there out here. Right? I mean, we've got to start looking outside the box. You know, some people, you got to think about it. Some of us won't date someone if they are a certain height. We won't date someone if they are a certain weight. We won't date anyone if they are a certain color. We won't date someone if they, I think the only way for me, and this is just my thinking if you're going to date, the only thing I think that's just completely nope, that won't work, is if we're just not of the same mind frame when it comes to our growth in Christ. And when I say that, I'm not saying you got to be so super deep. I'm saying at least have a belief system in Christ. You can't be, and this is just me, a non-believer and don't want to believe, or a Satanist, and then say you want to be with a Christian. Right? Because it's somewhere someone's going to get converted, but then at what risk? Anything after that, I think it's like, okay, all of those other things, shouldn't get in the way of a person. And I'm not tripping on people that date outside of their race, because a lot of people don't realize you may be more connected with somebody that comes from a different background or from a different culture. And then what you do is you limit yourself over who God has created you to be. You get in the box. We get in this box where this is just this, and we don't go out and experience different things. But let me help you here. Let's be fair about this thing. If you're going to date outside of your race and you're a lady, that is beautiful. But then have that same respect when a man of color wants to date outside of his race. I mean, and that's that. It doesn't, and here it is. It doesn't always have to be, and this is what makes me sick. It doesn't have to be anything wrong with the people in your race or in your culture for you to go outside of it. If you're just attracted to something or someone outside of how you were raised or who you were raised around, then that is fine. Let it be that. Don't let it be because you put every black man in a box or you put every black woman in a box. That shows your limited view of the people that you grew up around. There are beautiful people in every race and in every culture, and definitely there's some. Look, my black women are just they ain't for everybody. You got to have a certain type of something about yourself, because they are that, and that's a beautiful thing. I've raised 3 of them, raised by one, married to one. They are all of that, and you have to be a certain man, whether you white, Hispanic, or whatever. There, you have to have a certain something about yourself in order to be able to know how to massage a black woman's mind. Not to say anything about anybody else. I only know about what I know about. I don't know about any other culture. So, and it may be the same way for other cultures. If so, get in the comments and let's say it. I'm not demeaning anybody by any stretch of the imagination. But what I just want you to know and understand, if there may be people outside of your everyday viewpoint that might fit you, that might make you happy, that could show you some new stuff in life that you've never seen. Is that something we want to talk about? I think that's something we might want to tap into, because I want my sisters to be happy. I want my daughters to be happy, right? I want them to be ecstatic about who they are. I don't want them to compromise, but I don't want them to sell themselves short either, because they are beautiful. They do deserve what God has in store for them. So before I go any further, I'm treating y'all like we on a radio show, and I'm finna play you a song from this. Now the song I'm getting ready to play you, I think I'm gonna let it lead into the next part of what I'm gonna talk about. One that I wrote a few months ago, just listening to a couple. They're not married yet, but they were just having a discussion. They're dating, and it's a beautiful thing that they're dating, and they're seeking this type of advice. And what I realized is that everybody comes with a certain level of baggage when they get into relationships, and we are there to help bear each other's burdens, to help each other carry certain things. But then when we don't realize where we come from, the baggage that we're bringing into the relationship, we don't realize sometimes how much pain we may be causing the other person that is madly in love with us and wants to see us do something different. Some of us are there now. Some of you are there now. You may be single. This is the perfect time for you to look and see what bags you may have that you don't want to carry over. Now, granted, you're not going to be able to get rid of everything, because the person that God may has for you, trust me, they are equipped to help you unpack it and carry it and put it away. But you have to be willing to allow them to do that. But before you can allow them to do that, you have to make sure that you know what the bags and what the problems are yourself. All right. So this one I wrote a few months ago. It was entitled "Your Pain Hurts Me Too." Now, none of these songs I'm not putting any of them out because I am busy shopping. I'm shopping, and thank God I've landed a couple that one of them in particular, you may hear within the next month or so all over the world. So, but check this one out, and who knows, maybe somebody will purchase this one. But if anything, I love it for what it is. But we're going to use this to go into the next section, because I'm going to talk about something here in just a minute. All right, check this out.
I've been through many times before, hard times before. Girl, don't you see that he ain't me. So don't you hold me accountable for what he did. I'll keep on trying, but I can't do what I do. I'm not implying or denying your pain hurts me too. I'll keep on trying, but I can't do what I do. I'm not implying or denying your pain hurts me too. Hurts me too. Please don't make a mistake assuming you've been here before. I'm not trying to tear your walls down. Baby, I came through the door. Girl, don't you see? Like he. So don't you hold me accountable for what he did. I'll keep on trying, but I can't do what I do. I'm not implying or denying your pain hurts me too. I'll keep on trying, but I can't do what I do. I'm not implying or denying your pain hurts me too. Hurts me too. Walk with me through the door, baby. Walk with me through the door. I'm not implying or denying your pain hurts me too. I'll keep on trying. I'm not implying or denying your pain hurts me too.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that for a minute. While you are in your healing season, and that's where a lot of people are, that's where a lot of you are now, you're just now starting to see your value and your worth, right? During that season of trying to see your value and your worth, understanding how beautiful you are, understanding how understanding you are, understanding how committed you are. You know all of these things about yourself. But ask yourself, are you really healed from the past, or have you covered it up? Because I'm a firm believer, good friend of mine, well, cousin Jesse Radford told me years ago, and I read it in his book, he says, distance does not equal deliverance. Basically meaning just because you're not around it, just because you don't see it, doesn't mean that you're over it. Sometimes you don't realize you're over something until you're actually sitting in the face of what hurt you and you don't feel anything behind it. You don't feel any malice. You don't feel any anger towards it, right? A lot of times you can tell when you're not completely over something is when you have to revert back to it, or back to the person in some kind of way or subliminal way, whether jokingly or seriously or happily. It tells you that somewhere in your mind that person or that situation is still holding a position there, right? So here it is. If you're going to move forward, having a clear heart and a clear mind for the next round will be helpful unto you, because then it makes the decision, it makes the decision easier. Well, not take the, it's not gonna make the decision easier, but the clarity that you will have and what you're looking at and what you're seeing and what you're doing will make so much sense. Right. And I've noticed a lot of people, what they'll do, especially if they're young, or middle age, I'll say between the ages of 35 and 45, single women who may have children, they for some reason we limit ourselves to thinking that nobody will want us because of all of these different things. Let me tell you something. Men and women, we do not think alike. A lot of times what will happen is we'll think a certain thing about a certain thing because that's the way we think about it. We'll think this is the way men think because this is the way we think. We'll think this is the way women think because this is the way we think. And some people will say, well, no, I don't necessarily agree with that. I wouldn't mind dating. Well, where did the thought come from? What made you feel like a man would not want you because you may have children? Now, some people don't want that. That's the truth. And that goes both ways. But there's somebody out there that values that honors that. Now, so you don't have to settle for the first thing or the first person that comes along just because you think that this might be your last chance. No. How can you have faith in God? And then when it comes to that, the faith is gone. What I want you to do, number one is come out of the box. Come out of the box. And do something. Go somewhere. Present yourself. And when I say present yourself, I don't mean go and address and approach anybody. That's not what I'm saying, because I know for me growing up as a man, you didn't we could see somebody working at fries, McDonald's, in my case Taco Bell, and they could look just as dreamy and just as cute because we know how to look behind all of the other things. That's why most of the men that I know, we're more natural, because we see, who we want to be with. We see beyond all of the extra stuff, because that's who the pull is coming from. That the natural beauty of everything that a person may think is a flaw could be the one thing that the person really, really wants. I told this story to somebody the other day. We were getting ready to sell our house about 5 or 6 years ago. We sold our house, actually. And one of the reasons why I was afraid that the house wasn't going to sell quickly is because the backyard was very, very small. When I tell you very, very small, this backyard was just, it was irritating. It was so small to where it's like, I don't even know why we even called it a backyard. It was that piece of grass behind the fence over there on the side of the house. But anyway, I was like, the house is decent, but the yard and all that stuff is whack, man. It's not going to sell. And that house sold in 5 days because of the backyard. And I asked a young man who purchased the home, I was like, what attracted you? He was like, really, I travel a lot. He said, I travel a lot. And he said, because I travel a lot, I saw the yard, and the maintenance on the yard would be very easy. I can cut the yard in 25, 30 minutes. It's not going to take me all day. Ain't got to hire nobody. And I got a nice little place to sit, and I was like, would you believe this? The very reason that I thought it wasn't going to be attractive is the reason why it's attractive. All of you matter. Everything you've been through matters. Every scar, every gap in your teeth. I mean, whatever it is that you have that you may be trying to hide, that you are ashamed of, and I say gap because I got one. I'm not talking about anything in particular, because I had to get past that myself, because I used to, if people paid attention, pay attention. My serious look in pictures is not always because I don't like to smile in pictures. It's because of the way I grew up and the way I was teased about having a gap in my teeth, to where I would close it. I didn't want nobody to see me smile because it was a hidden thing in me. Like because I got talked about too much. But then the very thing that I'm like trying to hide, when my wife, as beautiful as she is, tell me she loves the gap in my teeth, I was like, yeah, quit playing. But I had to start thinking like, wait a minute, that she loves me for me. So I don't have to do anything extra to hide anything extra or to be something that I'm not. Right. And so this is why I'm coming at us the way I am, is because you are supposed to love yourself, but you love what God has done and who God created you to be, flaws and what you view as flaws and all. Because that's what makes the relationship building. Building makes the relationship. You have to open your mind. Open your mind. And it's like when you're dating. If you start dating, I don't know. I really don't know how everybody do. I don't know nowadays. Do y'all date exclusively, or do you have multiple people that you date, so forth and so on? And if you're doing that, do you advise the person that you're on a date with do y'all even call them dates anymore? But that's the word I'm using. So just when you're dating, are you being open about the fact that you're dating and you're seeing others? Are you being open about that? Or are you the type of person that likes to date just one person to get to know them, and then when you decide, no, this isn't what that is, move on to something else? You have to know these things about yourself and then kind of try to share them with the person that you are actually involved with. Right? I think getting to know a person comes with spending time with them without an agenda. That's why I think the whole, as old folk would say, courting, the dating and the courting phase is very important, because you get to know a person and their situation. Anybody could write down on a screen on a computer what they like and what they don't like. Nobody's writing their flaws on online dating. Not in detail. And when we go shopping for people, the same way we go shopping for groceries, if that's the way it's done nowadays, you just have to be more careful vetting the situation, because anybody can be what you want them to be on a piece of paper. It's kind of like, thank you, God. It's the same thing as a job. When you go to a job interview, you send your resume and you know exactly what the company is looking for. And there may be some things that you may not really be that good at, but you may have a little bit of experience in. So, but you're not going to say you don't know it. Like they would ask Excel, Microsoft Office, and all this stuff. And I'm like, do you have Excel experience? Yep, I do. Am I fluent in it? No, but I got that experience. So when they put something in front of me that I don't know nothing about, they said, well, you said you had Excel experience. Yeah, I did, but it wasn't that deep. And so what ends up happening is you end up getting fired because you're unable to perform the duties. Now, you had the experience to a certain degree, but the only way they found out that you were either qualified for it or not qualified for it is when the work started having to be put in. And that's the same thing. And when you're looking at things like online now, people can say what they want to say about who they are, what they do, and all that other kind of good stuff. They can do that. And then you can bring them in and open your whole self up based off of what they said online. And before you know it, when they don't reach where they said they were, then you have an issue because you're so much more invested. Spend more time getting to know people. Spend more time on day dates. Right? When I say day dates, go out to the lake, walk around, talk. I don't think movies is a good place to go on a first date because there's not a lot of communication there. So what, you like the same movies? It's like 20 other people in here that like this movie too. Right? There has to be more communication. Now, this is only if you're interested in growing with someone and building with someone and wanting to sustain a relationship with someone, to get to know them, spend time talking to them, not texting back and forth. That's okay. But I can't hear your tone in the text. I can't see your face in the text. Can we let's talk face to face? Even if that means just meet up at Starbucks and have some coffee or whatever for about 20 minutes. Let's talk. And people say, well, ain't nobody got time for all that. Well, then you don't have time for a relationship. Because a lot of stuff can be figured out within the first month if we communicate it. Honestly communicate it. So get up, get out, go do something you've not done, right? If you the type of person that every time the church doors are open, you there and you looking for your spouse or whatever to come through those church doors, so is probably 35 other people. Go do something. Go do something. Go to a jazz concert, right? Go to some spoken word concerts. Go bowling. Go to the grocery store, but go to the grocery store presentable, because you never know. You could run into the right person in the produce aisle. That don't mean you got to be date jazzed up, or date ready, but presentable. Because you are something special. You never know when the Lord may send that person just to cross your path. And last thing I'm gonna say before I think I might give you one more something before I get ready to go. It is check again for that friend. Now, if they married, leave them alone. But but you got somebody that loves everything about you. But nah, I just can't see myself. Okay. Now, I'm finna let y'all go. I've been on here long enough. I'm gonna get more into content like this as well, to try to help, because it's I don't know if this helped you or not. I hope it did. I want someone to be set free so they can feel comfortable just being themselves and know that you're not weird, because you want long lasting love. You want long relationship. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to be married. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to be. Stop saying no, I don't need. Okay. If you don't need, yes, every man needs a woman and every woman needs a man. Now, to what capacity, I don't know, but we need each other here. And if you want to be married one day, stop saying you don't want to be and you don't care. If you do, you do. Now, I don't know what God's will is for your life. We have to be willing to accept whatever God's will is for your life. But the word does tell us that he will give us the desires of our heart. Only if our ways are pleasing him. So you don't get the desires of your heart and get to live any kind of way outside of God. You can get the desires, but it may not be what God sent to you. All right. I want to make you feel like something. I know most people that are watching now. And brothers, if you watching this and you got a girl, if you got a wife, if you married and you just watching, go on and write these lyrics down. Because your boy was in his bag when he just started writing this one. And my boy Tony Ballard helped me. Well, he helped write this song. He actually helped write the hook on it, but verses and all of that stuff, man. It's just I'm just a hopeless romantic, y'all. So pay attention to this. And when I come, actually, I'm gonna leave out with this. So God bless y'all. God keep you. Get in the inbox. Hit me up, ReverendRobertson@gmail.com. That's REV.ROBERSON@gmail.com. Send me some information. Send me some questions. And who knows, maybe the next time we can talk about whatever it is you emailed me about. Go to God to it. Go to God about it and see where he leads, where he guides, and where he directs in those areas. Because God wants you to be free. But he also will not go outside of his will just to make you feel happy. Okay? So you're beautiful and you are wonderful. Y'all check it out. Love y'all. This one is called My Only Lady.
I want to speak for the supportive ladies, because in some cases they get overlooked. You know, a lot of times us men take for granted the woman that's been there since day one. They often hold everything down and push us up at the same time. When times get hard and we as men are trying to take care of home, it's her that whispers in our ears that she believed in us. The good book says, a man should love his wife like Christ loves the church. Last I checked, he sacrificed everything to make sure she was good. That's how we're supposed to love our ladies. We just wanted to do something for all of the ladies to let you know. We appreciate you. You're the only lady for me. Like that, like that. I can't sleep, it's 3:30 in the morning, not yawning inside. I see peace in your face as you're sleeping, everything is alright. Heard his voice in my head, it says, speak a word, it'll hear. Cover her in her dreams tonight, let her know you care. You're the only one I love, you're the only one I trust. You're the one, you're the one. You're the only one I hug, you're the only one I touch. You're the one, you're the one. You're the only one I love. You're the one, you're the one. You're the only one I hug, you're the only one I touch. You're the one, baby. I remember the year I first laid eyes on you, and girl, have no fear, I still only have eyes for you. What a joy to my world you bring. You're looking better every day, I'm so glad you know. You are my only lady. You're the only one I trust. You're the one. Yeah. Trust. You're the only one I heard, the only one that's you're the one. You share my time, you share my time. You share my mind, you share my mind. You share my dreams, you share my dreams. What you mean to me. Times I spend take for granted the woman that's been there since day one. I want to speak for the supportive ladies.